The morning breeze swept gently through the streets of Asaba, carrying the faint sound of tricycles and early market women calling out their prices. Amaka stepped out of her small compound, holding a brown handbag that had seen better days. Her eyes carried both hope and hunger, the kind only dreamers understood. She wasn't just going out for another day, she was going to chase destiny. The film audition she had waited for all month was finally happening at one of the popular production houses in town. As she waited for a keke along Okpanam Road, she whispered a short prayer. God, I beg, make today favor me. Even if na small role, make them just notice me. A tricycle stopped. She squeezed in with two other passengers, careful not to rumple her simple gown. The driver's radio played one old Nollywood soundtrack, and it made her smile, a little reminder of the dream she was chasing. Traffic was light that morning, but Amaka's heart wasn't. It beat fast with excitement and fear. Fear of rejection, excitement for possibility. When she finally arrived at the audition venue near Summit Junction, the place was already crowded with young faces like hers, all beautiful, all hopeful, all desperate for a chance. Some were rehearsing lines loudly, others were trying to impress anyone that looked like a director. Amaka stood for a moment, staring at them all. Then she nodded to herself and said softly, "Na Asaba be this. Na here stars the born. Today go mark my own beginning." With that, she joined the long queue, clutching her bag and her faith tightly. It was the first step of a journey that would soon test everything she believed in, her patience, her passion, and her purpose. The sun was already standing high above Asaba when the audition hall opened. The crowd outside had grown restless. Some people were practicing their lines, others were gossiping, and a few had already lost hope of being called. But Amaka waited patiently, holding her script like it was her last hope on earth. When her name was finally called, her heart skipped a beat. She wiped the sweat from her forehead and walked in quietly. The hall was cool, but the tension was thick. 3 judges sat in front. One of them, the director, a man in his early 40s with sharp eyes and a calm smile. Beside him was the production manager, known in the industry for discovering new faces. Amaka stood before them, nervous but determined. "Good afternoon, sir," she said softly. "Afternoon, dear. You may begin," the director replied, adjusting his glasses. The moment Amaka started her lines, something shifted in the room. Her voice was clear, her emotions real, her presence strong. The other 2 judges nodded quietly. Even the PM leaned forward, watching her closely. When she finished, the hall went silent for a moment. Then the director smiled. "What's your name again?" "Amaka," she replied, her voice trembling. "Amaka," he repeated slowly, still watching her. "You have something rare, something fresh." The PM smiled too, exchanging a quick look with the director. There was something unspoken between them. Admiration, yes, but also interest. Amaka thanked them and left the room, her heart full of joy. She didn't know that the moment she walked out, a quiet conversation began behind her. "That girl, she's beautiful," the PM said softly. The director chuckled. "Beautiful is an understatement. Let's keep her close." Outside, Amaka smiled at her friends, unaware of the silent eyes now following her every move. She didn't yet understand the hidden game, how in Asaba, beauty often attracted more than just movie roles. Many filmmakers had mixed intentions. Some saw talent, others saw temptation. But Amaka's heart was pure. She only came to act, not knowing that behind the glamour of film lights, there were shadows waiting to test her innocence. 2 days after the audition, Amaka was at home washing her clothes when her phone buzzed. At first, she ignored it, thinking it was one of those random wrong number calls that always disturbed her. But when she checked the message, her heart skipped. It was from the production office. "Congratulations, Amaka. You have been shortlisted for the second phase of the audition. Kindly come tomorrow morning by 10 a.m. She froze for a moment, soap dripping from her hands. Then she screamed and jumped around her small room. Jesus, they picked me. They actually picked me. That night, Amaka could hardly sleep. She imagined herself on screen, walking red carpets and hearing her name in film credits. She didn't know that behind that sweet text message, the same director and production manager were already discussing her privately, not just as an actress, but as a woman who caught their eyes. As Amaka prepared for the next day, she thought about how much she loved storytelling, how movies had always inspired her. She wanted to make people feel something real. She never knew that Asaba's film world carried two faces, one of bright dreams and one of dark secrets. Before we continue, if you haven't subscribed yet, please click that subscribe button and stay tuned, because as we follow Amaka's journey, we'll also uncover some hidden stories happening quietly around Asaba, stories most people in Nollywood don't talk about. The next morning, Amaka arrived early at the studio. The production manager was already there, smiling warmly. "Ah, Amaka, you are early," he said. "Yes, sir," she replied shyly. He watched her closely as she spoke, his eyes saying things his mouth didn't. The director arrived later and the atmosphere in the room changed. Both men exchanged looks again, the kind of look that carried silent intentions. They began the second audition, but this time, Amaka felt something strange. The director interrupted her several times with unnecessary compliments. The PM asked her to stay behind after others had left. She couldn't tell if it was a good sign or something else entirely. As she stepped out that afternoon, the wind blew softly across the Asaba sky. Her mind was filled with mixed feelings, excitement and confusion dancing together. She looked up, whispered a prayer and said quietly, "God, please let my dream not turn to regret." And before we end this story, don't forget, drop your comment below and share your own experience or thoughts about what's happening in the industry. Your voice might just be the one that helps expose the truth and bring change to Nollywood.